Thank you, choir. Thank you. Good morning. I'm the Reverend J. Wolin here, the settled minister here at the Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota. We want to welcome everyone, including our visitors, those who may be here in person, or those who may be streaming online. We invite our visitors to participate in any of our events, as well as to find out more about Unitarian Universalism and this congregation. We encourage you to sign up and register in our virtual guest book. As you can see behind me, you can get through a link on our homepage at our website, uusrq.org. If you're here in person, you can actually sign up in person at our welcome desk right outside the sanctuary building. And if you do sign up, you will get the grand prize of every week getting our newsletter emailed to you, as well as Zoom links to our online programs as well. We invite you as well to join us after the service. I think today is second Sunday potluck, so please join us for coffee, food, and conversation where we can get to know each other. So I have one announcement today that was a Saturday, February 21st at 4 p.m., we will be having a celebration for a successful stewardship campaign to meet the moment and fund our future. And so we will enjoy wine, tea, hors d'oeuvres, and friendship as we toast our congregants' commitment to pledge their time, talent, and money to further the mission and vision of the congregation. And I want to tell you, folks, you don't have to wait till the very last minute to put your pledge in, okay? You can do it now. You can do it today. Right after service, there'll be somebody at a table with pledge cards. And yes, we're not going to turn anybody away from this great event, but if we will have pledge cards there for you to fill out or donations to accept for that event as well. So please, no need to wait. I know we're at 60% of our goal. We want to get to 100. And so we will not only have this great fun party with wine, then we will invite you after that to come in to listen to some great music, piano, song, ukulele, guitar, and our own UU band. Yeah, you can woo, yeah. It will be an event to be remembered. We don't know how we'll remember it, but it will be remembered. And your presence, your being here, though, is what will make it complete. And it's free, except for the pledge or donation. So if you haven't submitted your pledge card yet, please bring it with you, or you can give it to us after the service today even. We're very easy. We accept anything. So please join us as we celebrate our successful campaign and the Unitarian Universalist future that you make possible. So I want to just take a moment to thank and that we are honored to have the Reverend Paul Brandeis Raushenbush. If you will stand and be recognized, he will be, thank you. Giving the sermon today. He's the president and CEO of Interfaith Alliance. He's been here at least a couple of times before I know of. He's an ordained Baptist minister. Reverend Raushenbush is a long-term interfaith leader and a renowned advocate for civil rights and religious freedom. He has a great podcast, The State of Belief. I listen to it most weeks. He works with affiliates, networks, and leaders across the country to forge powerful alliances among people of diverse faiths and beliefs to build a resilient, inclusive, multi-faith democracy. Sounds very much like our values and our mission and vision. And so now, without further ado, right now we get to hear some more beautiful and wonderful music from our own Fred Sirasky. Thank you.
I'm a very ordinary man, trying to work out life's happy plan, doing unto others as I'd like to have them doing unto me. When I meet a very lonely soul, to be kind becomes my only goal. I feel so much better when I tell them my philosophy. Oh, I want to be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Life's really worth living when you give mirth giving. Why can't I give some to you? When skies are gray and you say you are blue, I'll send the sun smiling through. I want to be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Take it down.
Thank you, Fred. Our opening reading is from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from The Birth of a New Age. As we move in this transition from the old age into the new, we will have to rise up in protest. We will have to boycott at times. But let us always remember that boycotts are not ends within themselves. A boycott is just a means to an end. A boycott merely a means to say, I don't like it. It is merely a means to awaken the sense of shame within the oppressor. But the end is reconciliation. The end is the creation of the beloved community. The end is a creation of a society where people will live together as siblings. An end is not retaliation, but redemption. That is the end we are trying to reach. That we would bring these creative forces together. We would be able to live in this new age, which is destined to come. Please join me now as I light the chalice in the words of our covenant with Unitarian Universalism. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant congregation to congregation and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love.
Good morning, everyone. Today's story is We Don't Eat Our Neighbors, written by Daniel J. Mahoney. Libby and Herbert lived with their parents in a sloppy swamp, which Libby loved and Herbert did not. I don't think I can live in this ick anymore, he told his mom. Well, then today is your lucky day because I just landed my dream job and we're moving to a neighborhood. Oh, that's awesome. What's a neighborhood? Libby rolled her eyes. It's where they have big green lawns and indoor plumbing and pizza. And people live there. Yum, people, Herbert said. Just then Libby remembered, people are Herbert's favorite snack. You know, I'm allergic to people, and Mom and Dad are vegans, so this could be bad. You can't eat them, Libby said. Why not? They're delicious with ketchup. Because we don't eat our neighbors, especially if you want to be on the soccer team. So they moved to the neighborhood where there were big green lawns and pizza, but Libby missed the swamp. Not Herbert, he was happy. You know, it's so neat and clean here, and our house even has a hot tub. This is awesome. So Libby and Herbert started adapting by wearing clothes and attending the local school. They even kind of liked the cafeteria food, and although it was tough for Herbert to not have his favorite snack, he managed at first. But at soccer tryouts, Herbert couldn't behave. Herbert, Libby shouted, don't gnaw on the goalie. After that incident, the kids at school started to avoid Herbert. See what you did, Libby said. No one likes you now. But I like them, Herbert said, especially with butter. Libby gave Herbert the stink eye. At Libby's sleepover, all was going great until Herbert got hungry. Herbert, Libby exclaimed, she's not pizza. You know, with a little pepperoni, anything can be pizza. After everybody ran out the door, Libby made a sign. You know, we moved to this nice neighborhood so Mom can follow her passion. The least you can do is not snack on anyone. Sheesh. And Herbert tried, but maybe not hard enough. He was still salting and peppering the kid down the street when the boy's dad came out. "You must be Lois Alligator's son. I just hired your mom as a pastry chef, and she has amazing talent." Herbert finally realized how important it was for his mom to live here, and he would feel awful if she lost her dream job because he was craving a person and pickle sandwich. So Herbert told Libby the next day that he had met some pretty delicious, nice people at school, but he was going to stick to eating only the cold fish sticks in the cafeteria. "Well, that's great," said Libby, "but I think you've already blew it. No one here trusts you anymore." And Libby pointed out the window. Herbert knew he needed to convince people that he wouldn't eat them. But no matter how hard he tried, they still believed that they would end up on his menu. You know, Libby had friends. His mom was a successful pastry chef. His dad had a new hobby, but Herbert just wasn't fitting in. Just then a soccer ball rolled up, and one of the players nervously approached, and Herbert passed him the ball. "You know, you're pretty fierce with that tail, dude. You know, we're actually short a guy. As long as you don't eat anyone, do you want to fill in?" "You got a deal," Herbert said. And as Herbert walked onto the field, everyone looked and smelled scrumptious, and he smacked his lips. "Don't even think about it," Libby hissed. "We'll be run out of the neighborhood, and Mom will lose her dream job." Well, Herbert thought about Mom making the best cookies ever. I don't want that," he said. "Then get out there and get kicking," Libby told him. Well, Herbert was a natural. Everyone was in awe as he made goal after goal after goal. And they also noted he did not try to eat anyone. So after the game, Herbert said to his sister, "You know, it was tough to not nibble on any of that fast food out there." But Libby was very kind. She said, "But you did it, and I'm very proud of you." And from that day forward, Herbert never ate another person, and his mom made him the next best thing. The end. Thank you. So here's the tagline. You know, there's a lot of metaphors in this story, and I'm not going to say who the alligators represented because we have all been them at one time or another, chewing up others because it was easy or because we just didn't think of them as us. But it takes courage to see the wrongs in the world, and even more courage to curb our ingrained responses, to try to build trust, and to do the right things so that everyone can thrive. Remember, every religion has their version of love thy neighbor, but not to eat them. I now invite any children and youth to join us in the West Wing for a special program with Cocoa Roots. And if you're new here, just follow me. Thank you.
Good morning. It's been a little while since I made an invitation, so I want to personally invite each and every one of you. If you can carry a tune and you like to sing, come join the choir. We do all kinds of music. Doesn't matter if you can read music or not. And we really just want every voice to be heard. So if you want your voice heard, you are welcome to join us. Oh, and this morning it was decided that we look like M&Ms because we have all different colors on. So we're considering calling ourselves the UUMM. I don't know, what do you think? UUMMs?
since the choir was here for the first service as well. That's why they're leaving, not because they don't love you. Our centering in words today are from the Christian Scriptures, the book of Mark, chapter 12, verses 30 to 31. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. At this time of gathering of our community, may we remember with love in our heart and in our soul members Carl Morrison and Kate Lanneman's husband Richard, both of whom have recently died. May their memories be a blessing for all of us. And as we go into a time of silence, let us contemplate how death can inform how we live our lives and how we love in this world.
Raushenbush.
A reading from the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. So let me first thank all of you, thank Reverend Jay for inviting me here, especially my dear friends, Jamie and Stefania McLennan. I did the research, and our families go back 130 years of collaboration. Jamie's grandfather, my great-grandfather were partners together and really were pioneers in the legal field that even today has been beneficial to our democracy. So thank you so much for all the friendship and the way you've supported me as a person and Interfaith Alliance. I am given the opportunity today to invite you to support this congregation. Often I'm asking for my own other things, but today I actually really want you to support here because I want you to know how much Interfaith Alliance and democracy needs this congregation to thrive. We need your support to support this place. So I'm going to invite each of you to give generously today. There are people ready to take your money and do it as an act of love. So that's the best I can do. Does that work? You all get the message? Okay. Acknowledge the American Holy Day of celebrating, or as I am calling it this year, Bad Bunny Celebration Day. The controversy over his performing the halftime show has ranged from ridiculous to outrageous. Yet he has been consistently gracious despite the obvious racism and ignorance. Last week, Bad Bunny won Album of the Year at the Grammys, and he started his acceptance speech with these heartbreaking words. Before I say thanks to God, I'm going to say, ice out. We're not savages. We're not animals. We're not aliens. We are humans, and we are Americans. The fact that he needed to say this reveals so much about the state of America in 2026. In just 1 year since the inauguration of Donald Trump, our country has progressed on the path towards authoritarianism more rapidly than many of us thought possible. In 2021, America was designated as a backsliding democracy, and as we enter our 250th year, we are in free fall. Institutions necessary for a functioning democracy, including Universities, the press, and the courts have been attacked and weakened. Museums and libraries and schools are all being told what they can and cannot show, share, or teach. And our Department of Justice has been turned into an instrument of vengeance and vendetta against the president's perceived enemies. The administration passed a budget that will make the poor poorer, the sick sicker, the hungry hungrier, with tax breaks that benefit the oligarchs who already wield too much power in our democracy. The first weeks of 2026 have brought new onslaughts of chaos with international attacks and the betrayal of our allies. And just this week, the president suggested that he might use federal power to take over state elections in advance of the midterms, undermining trust, paving the way for another January 6th-style betrayal of the will of the American voters. Oh, and the destruction of the Kennedy Center. Oh, and the Epstein files. Oh, and the vile racist cartoon of a former president and first lady which Trump shared on his social media and refuses to apologize for. And this is all just at the federal level. What is happening in states, including here in Florida, compounds the danger of the moment we're living in. America's move towards autocracy is being driven by the political ideology of white Christian nationalists who have achieved their dream of power in the Trump administration. Christian nationalists whose goal is a Christian and white nation made in their own image include Speaker Mike Johnson, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, whose pastor advocates for the repeal of the 19th Amendment. Attorney General Pam Bondi created the Anti-Christian Bias Task Force, which is an absurd initiative in search of a problem, created to confirm the belief held by some aggrieved white Christians that they are the most oppressed group in America. They also created the Religious Liberty Commission, a group meant to protect religious freedom for all of us, but made up entirely of ideologically extremist Christians with one Orthodox Jew. For his part, President Trump, who has no faith, flips the great words of President Lincoln and proudly claims God is, in fact, on his side, using God as some kind of divine personal cheerleader. The most dangerous manifestation of Christian nationalism today in America is Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. ICE has the gall to slap Bible verses such as "Blessed are the peacemakers" on their recruitment videos, deploying scripture like perfume in order to hide the stench of their actions as they terrorize communities, rip apart families, and forsake due process as they place people in unregulated and financially motivated concentration camps, and ship humans to countries they have never been to prisons they may never leave. ICE, under the direction of Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem, is not attempting to enforce a sane and responsible immigration policy, but rather has been deployed to brutally target non-white and non-Christian people. It is worth remembering that in mid-December, during a televised cabinet meeting, Donald Trump went on a tirade against the Somali American population, literally calling them garbage, who contribute nothing to the country and who should be sent back to where they come from. The very next week, ICE was deployed to Minnesota, where the largest population of Somali Americans live, targeting the Black and Muslim community who have lived in Minnesota for decades, as well as the Latino and Asian communities. The buildup of ICE in Minnesota is unprecedented in size and scope. The city is under siege, occupied by a federal force against the will of the local government and the people. The full brutality of what was happening in Minneapolis hit home to the American people after the killing of Renee Good, a mother and a wife who had been acting as a legal observer of ICE's actions. Shortly after her death, faith groups in Minneapolis put out a call to clergy across the country to come to Minnesota to witness what was happening and take part in the rally to get ICE out. They expected 200. Well over 1,000 of us showed up. We were brought to hear and see for ourselves what the vulnerable communities were facing, including not being able to leave their homes to shop for food, not being able to go to school, not being able to go to worship, and the constant crippling impact of living in fear. Yet just as important, the local clergy wanted to share with us the response of the people. Because as powerful as the militarized, authoritarian, theocratic effort that was in full display, it was not stopping the people who were coming together determined to love their neighbor, no matter what. Every faith tradition has some version of the mandate to love the neighbor, which draws upon the spiritual depth of our faiths and puts it into action in the world. Loving our neighbor is the building block of our democracy and the foundation of what Dr. King called the beloved community. Loving the neighbor is what I witnessed on the streets in Minneapolis. Thousands and thousands of everyday people, faith leaders of all kinds, alongside young people and community activists from diverse backgrounds, races, and religions organized together. The love of neighbors formed the teams to legally observe ICE using their phones as witnesses. The love of neighbor blows the whistles to sound the alarm for those being targeted. The love of neighbor brings food to those who can't leave their homes. The love of neighbor protests corporations like Target that allow ICE to use their facilities as staging areas. The love of neighbor brought out over 50,000 of us in negative 10-degree weather to demand that ICE leave for good, to choose love, not ICE. As part of our time in Minneapolis, 40 clergy made a pilgrimage to George Floyd Square to the location where, from George Floyd Square to the location where Renee Good had been murdered only a week before. At George Floyd Square, a local community member told us about how diverse neighborhoods had come together after George Floyd's murder. And she shared this definition of neighbor, which has stayed with me. A neighbor is someone you choose to be in community with. It reminded me of what Rabbi Prince stated at the March on Washington in 1963. Neighbor is not a geographic term. It is a moral concept. In Minneapolis, the people have chosen to love their neighbor. They have chosen to be in community with one another and to be morally and spiritually responsible for and to one another. And when people commit to that, authoritarians fall. I don't underestimate the difficulty of what we face. The administration wields politics and faith like a bludgeon against their opponents, and the violence continues. The day after I got home from Minneapolis, Alex Preddy was shot and killed. Yet let us remember his last act before he died. It was to see a woman next to him who had fallen as ice charged her. Alex turned, reached down to help lift her up. He chose to love his neighbor even in the face of danger. And more and more and more are making that choice today, and I feel the tide turning. Support for ICE, the president, and every one of this administration's policies is absolutely cratering. The Christian nationalists that surround this president and this administration represent a diminishing percentage of the American people who are beginning to see clearly how their quest for power and dominion are causing them to forsake the essential responsibility of any Christian, which is to love. And at the same time, I see congregations like this one, vibrant, alive, ready, and growing. In my organization, Interfaith Alliance, we have exploded this year from 8 affiliates across the country to now more than 40, including here in Florida. We are witnessing broad, diverse faith coalitions mobilizing, including Catholic cardinals and even Pope Leo, speaking out, showing up, and showing to the world what loving our neighbor can really mean. I often get the question, what can I do? Too many of us feel like we don't have the power to do anything in this moment. And authoritarians thrive when people feel powerless. But we have the power. And my essential message today is to everyone in this room, everybody watching on this online, and all the people I meet, is that we have what it takes to love our neighbor in this time. You've already shown that by showing up for service. And that's just one way. There are so many ways. And it will not look the same for everybody. Not all of us are called to the front lines, but everyone can do something. And everybody must do something. Because our democracy needs all of us, all the people. One of the most important ways we can love our neighbor is to get trained up for this moment. Several years ago, I had the chance to interview Representative John Lewis about his own faith and his work in the civil rights movement. The representative and the pastor was emphatic that nobody went to civil rights protests without having been trained first. The same has been true in Minneapolis and in cities across the country. Interfaith Alliance has committed to training 100,000 Americans before the midterms, offering mobilization trainings around the country for people to learn how to show up peacefully and powerfully to love our neighbor. I am on the No Kings Steering Committee, and we are encouraging faith communities to again participate on March 28th for No Kings 3, the largest yet, manifesting the beloved community in the streets. I want to tell you about our most recent training, which was just this last Thursday. It focused on singing as a crucial part of mobilizing for this moment. The church where the training was held was standing room only, with spillover into the basement and onto the streets in front, with people singing songs of resistance together, inviting the power and the joy and the love in our movement. When we arrived in Minnesota, the first thing that happened was that they were singing. And as we walked into this enormous congregation that I never thought we would fill, and then more people came, and everybody started learning the words and singing the song together. And then people stood up, and then people started clapping. And then, out of many, we were one, showing up for one another, loving one another. I want to come back to Bad Bunny, who, after insisting on the basic humanity of his people, continued his speech, echoing the words of Dr. King, saying, I know it is tough not to hate in these days. Sometimes we get contaminado. I don't know how to say that in English. Hate gets more powerful with more hate. The only thing that is more powerful than hate is love, so please, we need to be different. If we fight, we have to do it with love. We don't hate them. We love our people. We love our family, and that's the way to do it, with love. Thank you, God. In closing, I want to share the words of Reverend Susan Hayward, who is a local UCC pastor in Minneapolis, who before she moved back to the Twin Cities had worked in conflict resolution in war-torn countries around the world. She knows what it looks like to resist authoritarianism. Reverend Hayward joined a panel I moderated in Washington, D.C. that focused on the courage needed in this time, and her words are my benediction. Quote, "In the end, the source of our bravery is just love. We love each other. Like we literally go around telling each other that we love each other, that we keep us safe, and that we will defend each other, everyone, whatever their race or religion or citizen status, no matter how much the government throws at us, knowing they may kill more of us, because we love our neighbors. And seeing the power of that love manifested in how fiercely we care for each other, seeing how much stronger it's making us individually and collectively, stronger even than the forces of hate and violence unleashed on us. I don't believe that love is almighty because the scriptures testify to it. I believe it because I see it every day in my neighborhood. And that truth manifested is what makes us brave. That kind of love is unbreakable and defiant. We will prevail." Unquote. May it be so.
Please rise and by the hand of our spirit for our closing hymn, Answering the Call to Love. The truth in our hearts is our Our closing words are from the Reverend Wayne Arneson. Take courage, my friends. The way is often hard. The path is never clear. And the stakes, the stakes are very, very high. But take courage, my friends, for deep down there is another truth. We are not alone. And so now I'd like you, moved by what Reverend Paul said, I'd like us all to say together, we have the power. Here, we have the power. We have the power. One more time. We have the power. Yes. Please join me now in extinguishing our chalice. The words will be up on the screen. We extinguish this flame. As a sign from above, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for your presence here today. Go forth, do good, and love. Thank you.
you.